What up, guys? It's QCP on Growing Up Italian. I got a new book out so you guys can finally learn how to cook every dish you need in the Italian and Italian-American cuisine.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian. Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian.
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 Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian.
Growing Up Italian podcast.
Growing Up Italian. Woo!
Well, yo, I just want to congratulate you both real quick. This is the earliest podcast in the Guinness World Record book.
Yeah?
I think no podcast
Could've been earlier.
did not, except like I could see Chaz Palminteri doing a 9:30 podcast.
How
But
did
it's
this
worth
happen?
it.
But
It's
yeah,
worth
but how
it.
did this happen?
It's just my flight.
Is this the
Yeah.
flight?
Landed at 6:30. So it was like, what are we going to do? We're going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, hotel can't check in till 3. Let's get her
I
done.
told him use the studio, and I have the kids this weekend. I never do shows when I have the kids.
That's first
So
time.
I was like, you know what? We'll pump it out early.
Take them to work day.
Take them to work day. Alessandra's in the other room. and Tony's the executive producer today.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But,
Amazing.
Yeah, what happened was he told me like he has his book coming out, which, listen, this guy, he is one of the biggest Italian American food content creators, I want to say,
Hell yeah.
but now you're really like putting your talents on paper, you know, like you're
Yeah, I mean, dude, you got to make it physical at this point with how much we just stare at our phones.
exactly.
Got to put something in your hand
And something to promote, like go to different cities with something.
yeah, it's,
I always
it's
see you in
interesting.
different places, you know, like
Yeah, yeah,
we bumped
yeah.
into each other in Milan. We'll
So
get into
random.
that.
Yeah. No, it's important, man. I mean, I think shit, there's so much to talk about when it comes to just
Yeah.
the reason like behind it, the details, for fuck's sake, the book's called Italian American,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And like the fact that that's even like allowed, like that I could even name it that was pretty cool,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
Yeah, I
awesome,
love
bro.
that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody searches anything Italian American,
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
QCP right there. Baby.
I mean, and everybody, when I think they think of him, they think Italian American.
Yeah.
But to answer your
100%.
question,
Fake Italian, fake
well, we're
Italian.
gonna challenge his Italian again. I got some.
I got a lot
something
more
up the sleeve.
I got a
for you.
lot more in my book.
I know.
since
I
last
tell
time.
you.
I've been to
you've
Italy at least 7 times since our last pod.
he's brushed up a lot. But to answer your question, I think what happened was I was in Rome and he was like coming to Rome in 2 days or something. And he was like, how long are you in town? I'm like, I'm leaving tomorrow. And then he said, I'm coming to New York these days. I have a book coming out, whatever. And I guess we kind of just saw this was like the perfect day. You're only in town for like 3 days, right?
A little bit. Yeah, it's just I'm doing a book tour, so I've got these signings, so it's kind of busy, really busy.
So tell us a little bit about how the book came to be, like the idea behind it, how it started, what made you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest part about the book is the fact that it's legitimately just full blown. It's not the Italian American is the why I have it /Italian/American is because there's authentic Italian recipes and Italian American recipes, and that's how it's split up. So you can see like on every recipe there's a flag, and the flag, you know, this is spaghetti alla Nerano, and it's got an Italian flag because it's more authentic Italian than American Italian.
Yeah.
But then there's other recipes like random example. Let's see.
Spaghetti and meatballs. Is it American
Spaghetti
flag?
meatballs, absolutely American.
You don't give
flag.
it half and
Even
half?
this, like
You
I put a
don't-
lobster ravioli, it's got an American flag. It's American. If it's Americanized, that it gets the position. But
That's smart that you did that too.
yeah,
Because you're gonna get the people that's like, oh,
it was a random idea, and I really liked it. And the publishing company liked it too. They were like, "Yeah, it's cool. It got an indicator on every recipe. I put a QR code on every recipe, kind of like a little video of me talking about the
that's
recipe
smart. That's
for every
smart.
single one." But I mean, the inspiration behind it is really just like I look at it as like a one-stop shop for all the rest. Like you could name probably 5, and most likely all 5 of those are going to be in there.
amazing.
Whether it's authentic Italian, like a classic dish, or if it's an Italian American classic
You've
dish.
made every dish in that book.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some that I threw in that are more like family recipes.
Right.
So some that I've kind of brought from my dad, from my grandma, from my nonas on both sides.
Yeah.
And my mom has like some of my mom's recipes in there, and then originals that I've come up with, and then like classics that just felt necessary to include.
Well, I definitely want to give you your flowers because the goal for a lot of people in your field, people who are making food content, their end goal is literally to make a cookbook.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm
you
blessed
definitely
to be in the
deserve,
position to do it. You
A
know,
pat on the back, because
Yeah.
that's literally goals right there. So
100%.
Congratulations.
Not only
to
to
you.
make a
you.
book, but to sell a lot of copies.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause anybody could make a book, but who could actually move?
No,
the
of
units?
course. And the competition's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. If I make the top 10, if I make bestseller, like the list it's brutal. I was looking at it last night and I'm like, these books are unbelievably popular,
So
but
my friend Nico told me to get like New York Times best-selling book, you need like 2,000 copies in a week or something like that.
it's like you look it up, it says 2,000 like minimum,
Week one, yeah.
but a comfortable position is like 10,000 for week one.
Yeah.
And it's getting
So
there.
tell us, when does this book release? Is it out
The
yet?
book releases on the 30th, so it hasn't come out yet. It comes
So-
out
Okay.
Tuesday
Okay.
for us right now. And then I got a week after the book releases to make bestseller. I mean, it's like I'm in a really good spot. Like right now, it's looking great, but it's like you never know what books are coming out that week, and that's the competition. I mean, and it's kind of everybody's goal in any type of book is to I mean, shit. New York Times bestseller is New York Times bestseller.
That's
It's like,
undeniable.
yeah. So it's kind of just like a fingers crossed. Hope there's not too many crazy books dropping that week. And it's
Take it
also
easy,
just
take
like
it
about
easy.
the performances, because like there's this book right now called I think it's called like Pizza Night or Pizza Time or something, and it's like crushing, and it's like number 1 or number 2 or something on the list, or number 5 on the list, but it's like insanely high ranked. So it's very competitive.
Is it a reputable author?
I'm not even sure, but whatever it is, it's working. It's a very crazy thing, but I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Really, it's crazy to be able to have something physical, have pictures. I've got pictures of me when I was a little kid in Ischia, and everything. Some fan dedication pictures, and there's a lot of fun, just like nice detail, and the fact like it doesn't really feel real at all, like, to be honest. But it's here. The time's come, but it's been crazy. It's been a long time coming. The last time we had a conversation, I had this wasn't in conversation, and it took about like a year and a half to fully do the book.
I feel he was on the show about a year and a half, 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was Mo on the show with him. at
Yeah,
Lucky Boy.
yeah.
He made it a wild episode.
Yeah, but Mo, he introduced us, and from there, I saw you in Milan, and we went to that Inter game together.
Yeah, that was crazy. Last minute, I was gonna like buy tickets. He's like, "You come into the box with us." So I was like, "What? Custom jersey, all this." I was like, "Bro."
Yeah, we gotta talk about some stuff for Inter, because they might be they want to do some more stuff for you. But are you a fan of any team? Because your family's from Ischia.
Yeah, I mean, my father's a diehard Napoli fan, like diehard.
Makes sense.
They lost on his birthday this year. It was very difficult for him, and but I haven't gotten into it, honestly. Never really have.
But
like,
if he saw you become a fan of Roma or Juventus, like a Napoli,
he's not that type of guy.
Okay.
He's not the type of
Because
he's
Napoli fans are like that.
I mean, typically, but he's just proud. So he's just like whatever. He's cool. It's cool to see that your son's having any, as a fan of Italian soccer in general, to see that at all. And like, I partied with some guys from like Juventus while I was in Milan, and like I told him
That's
about
true.
that.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I was like, he's like, "No way," like what the fuck?
Yeah,
like I
partying
was
with
just-
soccer players is huge.
Yeah, bro.
They're
They got
worldwide,
especially in
bro.
Italy. Especially in
They've got a
Italy.
presence too in the club, like, bro. They're just chilling. They're just sitting. They're not drinking, and they're just they're having a good time.
Is enjoying the music.
Yeah, bro. It was like I was with there was one guy there, and then the next day he scored 2 goals. I was like, what the
sick.
fuck? Or it was like he scored 2 goals, then they came to the club. It goes both ways, but they're I mean, it's just it's cool. I mean, it's the type of thing. Like I said, how can he really? As
So
much
that
of a
time
fan
you
as
were
he
in
is.
Milan. So the big difference between Milan and Rome, I guess, is Milan is
There's
very
massive difference between the north and the south
So-
in
so
Italy.
tell
Oh
us-
my god.
So tell us. I'd love to hear your
My
perspective.
first thing is the food. The food in the south. I mean, the food in the south compared to the I don't think I've experienced food in the north to its finest.
Like the top.
Yeah, because I'm like a very easy access person. I like to like get food delivered if I'm fucking hungover and
You're
stuff
on
like
Glovo
that.
out there.
Bro, Glovo's a mess. That's brutal. And like everything on there, I saw like a margarita pizza, like normal ingredients. Everything looks normal on the ingredient list. And then you got seed oil as like the final thing. They're trying to like become more of an Americanized place. to the extent that they use seed oil instead of olive oil on their pizza, which I'm like, there's no way. But I'm sure
That's
those
crazy because in
more
America
fast
you'll
food
never
places
see seed oil.
presented. Yeah, like they'll never
They'll just
say
be
it.
on there.
Right.
I
So
think in Italy they
interesting.
probably have to though,
because like
because of the like I saw.
it's very
We
strict.
might have posted it, but synthetic meat that
got banned.
got banned.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
They're like the first country in Europe to do that.
It's hilarious. I remember you guys definitely posted something
Yeah.
about it. But I mean, like digestive wise, like the way that I felt in the South, like in Rome, in Ischia, especially. Oh my God, like it's like Little Sicily. You got just the most authentic it can get, the most organic food, and it feels so good. Your shit smells the same every single time. It's at the same time every day. You know, it doesn't matter what the hell you eat. Like, bro, we're stuffing like turkeys, just any, you know, whatever, cornetto, fucking pizza, pasta, wine. It's just like you can do anything, and then it's like you have a little walk and you feel good, and you walk it off, and then I get to fucking Milan, and I'm like, fuck. I had like one of the focaccia sandwiches, like from that one famous place.
All'Antico Vinaio.
Yeah, it just fucked me up. I think they might source the ingredients different in the north. I don't know. I feel like it might be different, but I'm sure I'm missing something.
Well, in Milan, I would say it's very tartufo heavy too. Mm-hmm. They're just doing
It's a flex. Yeah, it's a wealthy place.
Are you a big tartufo guy or no?
Not really, honestly. I've got like one recipe with truffles in it. I like it, but it's not something that I'm like. I can't find how there would be like an obsession.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
he loves truffle.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it infused and stuff. You know, truffle.
Not
butter,
actually
truffle.
shaved on top or something.
You're a big
I like a
mushroom
little
guy?
bit.
You're a mushroom guy?
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah.
Risotto. What about
Gotta
risotto?
cook it right. I have a risotto like terra e mare. So I have like a
Oh, okay.
it's a cool recipe. It's mushrooms and shrimp. It's an interesting risotto, but it's really good.
I think I've had that before too.
Yeah?
Mushroom shrimp. Yeah, and
It's an
risotto.
interesting combo. It's really good.
I said this.
Pecorino.
I said this in a video.
Which is
And
weird,
Let me know if I'm crazy for this. I said risotto is like a seasonal dish for me.
I get it.
Do you agree with
Like
that? or
winter
no?
or
No, I
fall?
just feel I feel like it's more like a
I
cold.
mean, bro, the second the
cold
fucking rain
season.
comes down in Los Angeles, I start making really specific things.
Yeah.
Like it just you want it to feel wholesome and you want to feel good, and you know, beans, man. Like there's certain things that you gotta have when it's cold.
the fazools.
Yeah. I have a fagioli that's fucking so good. It's a classic way to do it, but that's my go-to. The weather, yeah.
Well, what I know we spoke about this on our first pod, but like, what got you into cooking and why are you so like infatuated? I could tell you actually enjoy it.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and your videos obviously there's like a comical aspect to them. It's entertaining, but how'd you figure that out?
It was just such a weird way that it all happened because I never intended to do anything with cooking, and I fell into it. My dad's got 4 restaurants to this day, great Italian restaurants in Charlotte, as I've probably mentioned.
Yeah.
You said that in the first episode.
Yeah. They're all still balling like usual. And I mean, I made a cooking video. It might have been like one of the first times. Like I've only been cooking for 5 years, which is enough when you've literally only been cooking Italian food for 5 years. Like you start to learn a lot about it. Like I'm not really branching out that much. I make myself a steak here and there, whatever. But at the time, I made like my first viral video was fettuccine Alfredo, like chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
That's really authentic, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
got the
in
Italian
the
flag?
book because people want it.
Wait,
you know?
so I'm curious now. Does that one have the Italian flag?
Of course not. Of course not.
You want him to get murdered?
Well, the OG
Bro,
story.
there's a American flag on lasagna.
Oh,
For
really?
fuck's sake. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, can you find it in an Italian American restaurant? So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of where it gets a little more classified there.
So you
But
started with fettuccine Alfredo.
I think the first video ever was like a penne pomodoro. I'd barely ever cooked before. I made it while I was home alone. My mom left the house. I was living with my mom. And I just kind of was making random skits. I was like probably 600 videos into TikTok. I had like 700K followers of just random skits, like funny, whatever I could come up with. Then this was something that I just randomly came up with. I called it If the Jersey Shore Had a Cooking Show. And then I put on this crazy fucking character. How you doing? I remember that. How you doing? It's John from whatever. And I was like we're making some fucking pasta and just loud screaming. And people loved the idea. People love all the New York Italian guys. Like they play. You know, when they get more energy, you get so much more into it. And that was something I kind of just like channeled. And the difference is I'm not from New York, and like my mom doesn't have a heavy accent. She's from Bay Ridge. Yeah. And my father being from Italy, so it's like the type of cadence of like there's no Italian American accent anywhere in my family. So I was playing it as a character. Right. Then it might have been the second video I made spaghetti and meatballs. Third video I made the fettuccine Alfredo. It was that third video that got like fucking 5 million likes on TikTok in 2020.
5 million likes.
Yeah, 5 million likes.
So how
it
many
had
views?
30 million views.
Yeah, it's viral.
Which, I mean, you got to think about it. And this was in January 2020. So it's like
very early on.
Yeah, like COVID's about to hit. A viral video like that is like there's only a few at a time.
Absolutely.
At the on the platforms. So that went crazy. That kind of kickstarted it, and then that's when I decided I was like, you know, I should probably stick to it a little bit, and it was easy to fall in love with it considering it was a part of my family my whole life, like the cooking.
It's funny because a lot of people, I feel like they start messing around on social media, and then the second they get into cooking, especially if they have a personality, that's when shit starts booming.
Yeah.
Like we just had Julia Molinari, Jumo, on
the pizza, right?
Bro, I mean, she was doing like dance videos, messing around. Bro, the second she started cooking pizza and, you know, making other recipes.
She didn't start putting it on Reels until like a month ago, and she's gained like hundreds of thousands of followers in like a month.
She mentioned you on...
yeah, I mean, I don't know where she's a little far from here now, right?
Yeah, she's
in Jersey
girl.
Far out of Jersey.
I was like, I would love to do video, but it's a little far.
I'm sure when the time is right, all stars align always.
The timing is every day.
I feel you're always in tune. Obviously, you know, you keep up with the Italian culture and your cooking, obviously, but I feel like you're very in tune with the Italian, especially the Italian TikTok community.
All right. The way I'll frame it is that he's willing to collaborate with people.
Yeah. You are willing to work. I got to give you that.
And I notice he's one of the very few. I think us and Gianluca, is your name out there like that?
Yeah, I finally put it on my Instagram.
So I feel like us and Gianluca are the only ones that could collaborate with the Italians and the Americans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because his range is crazy. He's doing stuff for all the big cooking guys there, and he's doing stuff for all the big cooking guys here.
I love it.
My question was going to be like, what's the difference between an Italian content creator and an American content creator?
That's actually a good question.
Bro, probably the thought process in general is so much more fluid when you're filming with an Italian. Just because you can imagine that it's just like andiamo, like dai, fucking all the Roman guys are like, let's go, like let's do this, because like whatever we do, like it's gonna work, it'll look good, and then we get so much more in our head. But I do the same thing when you're collabing with an American. You're thinking so much deeper into, because you have to think about it too. It's like think about the environment in which you're filming in Rome. You've got, like, when I was just there, like, I'm filming with the Colosseum in the background. Like, that alone...
On a balcony.
Like, the way you feel there is going to bring out a different energy. Then you're kind of, like, enclosed in a little kitchen. You got to get so much more creative, and you get a little more, like, worried and insecure about the content with the American creators. But either way, it's a different experience, but it ends up being the same, you know, in its ways. But it's such a fun time every single time. You know how it is, the hospitality of Italian people in general. It's in our blood to just make
take care of our people,
to take care of each other, and that's how it's always been. It's so inviting. Every single collab I've done in Italy and in general, like just when I was there, and I've done a few videos there. There's this guy that has this cantina, but it's like he's got this crazy cave that has all these just relics, like hundreds of years old from his family, passed down. Like, I don't even know how many different things. I don't know how much this stuff's worth. Like, he's got stuff all over the place. And I've done a few videos there, and just like, whatever you want to do, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, they're so just welcoming, and it's one of the best feelings ever. And
Rome in particular has so much history. You could walk around and see stuff from 2,000 years ago. And my most recent trip, when I was there with the Roma soccer team, they really take that tradition to a whole nother level. We were walking around, and they were like explaining the times of the Colosseum. There's like a place where they used to do the racing at, and that the emperor could see the race from his building, right? And then like nobody did anything for thousands of years there because so many people died, and then they just like, oh, now we can't touch this, you know? But meanwhile, it was there for 2,000 years, and like if you see some of the ruins in Rome, like people would take
Nothing looks real, bro.
Yeah,
It doesn't look
it's
real
so
over
crazy.
there. It really, it's mine. We're really lucky that we still have things standing on Earth, you know,
Yeah,
that are that old. I mean, and even in like the architecture in Milan is unbelievable. Like just when you're walking through, just the details. The Duomo is crazy. Like you just look at it like, holy
How they
shit.
built that, bro.
Like
It's
like
crazy.
this was built by human beings. Like unbelievable. And the same even in Naples and so many places. It's like I
it's
have
just so old. It's been there forever.
the problem with Italy for me is I want to be able to experience all of it, like
me
every
too.
bit of it. But it's like you got to take off months and go. And I watched a YouTube video that was like an
Well,
hour
you could do
and
that when
20
you're at
minutes.
work, you know? You could-
Technically, yeah. But it's like it just never ends up working that way. You know, you have to kind of get back. You got to get back on track, go back home. It's like you can't always stay out and about. You know, I wish I could just take some time off and go and work in a kitchen somewhere in Puglia or like somewhere that you know I'm not, nobody's speaking English to me. That's another thing. Like in Milan, everybody's speaking English, and you know, in Ischia, nobody's speaking English, and it's nice to be able to go where your family's from and feel that. But it's like I end up fiending for it, and like it's like becomes something I'm due for at a certain point where I'm like, I gotta go, I don't care. Like, and the last time I went, I decided 3-4 days before, I was like, I gotta go. You know, cook more cookbook stuff. Like I gotta show these people that I'm fucking Italian. Like my dad is, you know, I just love.
And you learned a lot more of Italian.
Yeah. I mean,
You speak up much better now. And
yeah. I mean, dude, I'm if it's slow enough, I can understand mostly everything. And
Especially the videos you make, you're speaking the whole time in Italian. I'm like, damn, I got to give this kid his props.
yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
it's kind of like its own language, like the cooking language. Like I know all the
Yeah.
words in the kitchen, and most in the restaurant, but general conversation I'm learning every day. Like, bro, I'm back on fucking Duolingo to learn more vocab,
That's
and
good, yeah.
and we're talking to Duolingo too, trying to
Yeah.
do something, trying to work with them.
Oh, they're a great app.
They told me, they're like, we're gonna watch, make sure you got your streak going. You know, like we're gonna check it.
What are you
I'm
at
like,
right now?
5 days, 6
Oh,
days.
you're
But they're like,
fresh.
but they checked my history on my account. They're like, we
Yeah.
saw you got 36 days last year, and I was like, yeah, like that's right.
I was doing that. I had a nice
you
streak,
learned
and
the real-
I got to start too.
It's good, bro. I've had a
on.
reminder on my phone every day at 9 a.m. study Duolingo. And,
9 a.m.
and
Are you a guy that wakes up early?
so I not until I got dogs. So now that I have dogs, they wake me up at the crack of dawn every single day,
Yeah, they gotta
like
go.
6
You,
a.m.
are you a dog walker? Or you let him out in the yard?
Luckily I've got a big enough yard. I let them out.
Yeah.
They fuck with each
That's
other all day
luxury
because I've got
right there.
two. So yeah, it's really nice. Like to be completely honest, I've probably walked these dogs like a total of 5 times combined. And now my mom's actually at my house right now. She went like
Taking care of them.
yeah, because
That's what makes it hard for you to travel out too now, I guess. With
exactly.
The dogs too.
So I'm telling my sister, I'm like, you want to like just live at my house for 2 months so I can go travel, because she has a dog too. I'm like, bring the dog. It's like a compound. Like go let the dogs out. Like it's really
Does your
it's
sister live in Charlotte or?
she does, but she's about to move. She's like getting up, getting ready, getting out, and you know, but I'm like step in. I want to get out.
Yeah.
There's so much to see.
So you wake up 8:30, 9?
6.
6.
6.
Yeah. I get up at like 6:30. I go to bed by like 9:30. I don't party. Like LA's not
A party town. Like that.
like
More house parties, if anything.
house parties. If you get if you deserve to get invited to the a good party, then you go. But if you want to go party, it's just
What's the list of a good party in LA? What do they have? Pasta.
Nah, I mean,
Yo, no, I actually I went to Paris Hilton, had a party recently that I went to. And they had homemade like pizza in the back, like they had brick oven.
sick.
They had somebody.
You did a
come.
video with her too, right?
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
Valentine's Day, was it, or something like that?
It probably felt like it
Yeah,
because
'cause
she's all pink.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's just all about pink.
I remember some old pink.
She's super cool. That was one of those moments.
Was
you
that
know?
like a, take a breath, like damn, like
It was
his
a
life right
very
now, you know?
interesting part of time. I mentioned this. I did a podcast with Duke Gomez,
Oh, nice,
and
nice.
I mentioned this on his podcast. But it was a really crazy time because I went to this event and somebody sucker punched me in the back of the head in the bathroom at this
shit.
event. And like I was taking a piss and there's this huge guy and like this other guy with him, and they kind of like escorted some girls into the bathroom and went into some stall, and I kind of turned around and like made a little like super lighthearted, like jokingly comment, was kind of just like, no way, like what's going on here? You know, like they're
Get a room.
Where were you?
They're bringing girls in and kind of like guarding the door. They might have been doing like coke or something in there. I have no idea. So I make this little lighthearted comment. They're like, watch who you're talking to, right?
This is LA, not to cut
Yeah,
you
yeah,
off. Okay.
And then I get done with my piss, and as I'm turning, I get just the guy's 6'5", 250, hits me full force in the back of the head, like right here on my ear.
It's not fun.
And then a couple times in the face, like afterward, like to the ground, bro. I pissed my pants, literally, and I just pissed. Yeah. Like I was not expecting this at all. I'm so lucky I didn't get knocked out. I mean,
that
pretty.
could have been bad too.
I could have gotten paralyzed.
Yeah,
bro. He punched me in the
serious.
back of the head.
Back of the head is sick.
Brutal. Didn't even give me a chance to get punched in the front of the face.
Yeah.
Like I didn't try to fight the guy. He was
Just
huge.
sucker punch.
I got sucker punched. So unfortunately, from that, I mean, I was out of work for 2 weeks, and my face was messed up, and my ear was swollen, my face was swollen, my eyes. As it started healing, it was kind of like I had this Paris video like in a week from then, and it was literally like the day of that I looked just okay enough for it to not be noticeable on camera, in which I felt like shit. Like I didn't want to do this crazy moment to do a collaboration like that. And like the way that I felt, I'm like, bro, my face, I would try to film, and then we'd turn on the camera and I look at the footage, and it looks like I had liver failure. Like I've got just yellow
Did you
bags.
put makeup on?
Nah. And but I was really lucky that the timing worked out like that. The video turned out great. It was such a good time, and
That's crazy.
yeah, I mean, and now it's like it's ironic.
No more jokes at the bathroom, huh?
But like the
Yeah, that's like a once in 100. That's crazy.
bro, like this event was big. Like Madison Beer's there. Like there's like there's high level like celebrities at these events, and people are doing that. Like the guy didn't give a fuck who I was.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. Probably didn't even have any idea. Didn't even care.
Yeah.
Whoever it was, they had the position. They could do it, so they did it.
Wait, so are you that guy now? Like, oh, that's the guy that got knocked? You know what I mean?
I didn't get knocked. Thank God.
Nah,
No, there was a lot of
damn.
witnesses. I don't know how I didn't get knocked out.
How the hell you like
Bro.
up the whole time?
I did go down,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
didn't knock out.
That's
so
crazy,
because
bro.
I got
Yeah,
the
I
first
mean-
punch got me, and I turned around, and then he went just straight into my face like multiple times, and then I came down and was like, yo, chill. Like stop.
I
Like,
mean to laugh.
let
That's
me
crazy.
no, it was crazy, bro. And
That's
then
crazy, bro.
And then this kid that's in the bathroom that witnessed it, he told me, he's like, I wanted to help, bro, but the same shit happened to me once, and I was like, damn. But
He was not trying to get that part.
that's definitely another reason why I don't like going out that much in LA. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
it's like the one time I don't really want to, and then I do. I get fucking punched in the head for no reason. But it's better to like work up and be able to be in a more respectable room, I guess. It feels better to be in like with more successful people. I mean, LA's just got a lot of nonsense, but it's just how it is, bro. Big city.
Last time we hung out in New York, you said
That I was
I'm gonna
moving.
move here. And
Yeah.
then next time I saw you, like, nah, I bought a house. I'm staying.
Yeah, I wanted to. I had so much shit happen to me. I had like a quarter life crisis. Like
What do you
happens,
love
it
about New
happens.
York?
I love that I can get like 4 hours of sleep, wake up and work. Like there's a lot. I kind of mentioned this earlier. Like changing the environment is important. And I've been realizing recently that staying in just my kitchen and filming just in the kitchen and filming a regular recipe, I got to feel so good to be able to pull out the best of me in the same setting over and over. But the second you step in a place like in front of the Coliseum or the Empire State Building, the Empire State Building's been super cool. I've done 2 videos there, both of them over 100 million views. Each of them over 100 million views on YouTube. And
You have the Empire State Building plug?
yeah.
That's
You let me
nice.
know. No, they want to do. They just told us within the last 2 days they want to do like a whole series. Like they want to take it to
That's
the next
incredible,
level.
yeah.
Which is
They
awesome.
just
We're doing
banned Joel Embiid from there.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
good.
Joel Embiid's been bit the flagrant foul and 50 points.
Joel Embiid's out, but QCP's in.
That's right.
I'll take that any day.
So it's good to switching up the environment is great. So I wanted to come to New York because like, you can step outside and start filming. and like there's shit happening left
Characters
and right.
everywhere.
Characters. It's also obviously the Italian culture. I also wanted to be closer to Italy, but you know, I ended up getting a place. I live very like suburban life now. Like I've got both my neighbors are 70 years old, and I've got a nice backyard. It feels great. It's more peaceful. I get a little more A to B without many distractions. I feel like it would eat me alive a little bit here. I'd have a really fun time, but eventually I'll hopefully get a place. But I went from that to like 2 dogs. You know, kind of just taking a step up.
You settled in. You settled
Settled down a little bit. I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
And love them to death.
You know where I can get a fresh quality pizza with the freshest ingredients? I'm talking like homemade dough, pecorino romano grated in-house.
Of course.
Where?
Cuz Anthony's coal-fired pizza and wings. That coal fire is at the heart of who they are.
Oh, they're that spot that's located all in the Northeast, and they have a bunch in Florida, right?
Yep.
Man, I love when you have a good recommendation for once.
Crispy, crunchy, savory, and sweet. Order what you want on Uber Eats.
Listen, guys, from now to the end of the year, December 31st, on the Uber Eats app, you go to Anthony and Son Panini shop, and you get a nice $25 off.
When you use the code Panini.
You gotta use the code Panini.
Terms apply. See app for details. We're very excited to announce a long-term partnership with DeSoto Gastronomia out from Australia. These guys got a really, really interesting restaurant concept where all their profits go to all these Italian charities.
DeSoto has a very interesting story. So they're first generation Italian Australians.
They're basically us in Australia.
DeSoto was created in their parents' and grandparents' honor so that they can pay their legacy forward. 100% of their proceeds goes to people in need, charities, and the arts.
DeSoto will be supporting us this year, so you know the content's going to be even better.
Bro, and who knows? Maybe at some point we're going to have to take a trip down under, huh?
I was always curious how the Italian Australians made food.
It's time we find out.
But I mean, I'll always love New York. It's the coolest city.
How
in
long
the
is the
world.
flight from LA to Italy?
Ooh,
Do they even go direct?
yeah, they have LA to Rome direct. I think in LA to Milan direct.
Shit,
So what is
So
that,
we just
12
did
hours?
that 12, 13, the way back 13, 14. But the craziest thing that I found out during the off season, if you book a regular economy ticket, you can get it for sometimes $500.
Yeah, but you need to book
depending
a
on the
couple months in
airline.
advance.
Yeah, it depends on the season. So if it's April, like
Yeah.
May, it starts getting a little rough. Or if it's like
August?
August,
Yeah.
September,
forget it.
it's cheap. So like September's
September, August, no.
I'd say
August is the height of it.
May or April and September are a good time to go. The weather's not as hot, but if you want to go experience it and have like a lot more of a fluid experience, really good time to go. The flights are cheap. The first class is empty, so the upgrade, I flew. It was $700 when they're $10,000 seats.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting $10,000 seats for round trip for 80% off.
Yeah, that's
which
sick.
if you can afford to, if you want to, like go ahead. But no way in hell I'm gonna spend more than $2,000 because like during the summer an economy flight to Italy's $2,000, like
Easy,
$1,500. Like it's brutal. But that was one thing that made it a lot better to go for 14 hours was the fact that it was like $700
In a comfortable seat.
Yeah, to get the
I was gonna
reclining,
ask you, do you
the
fly
bed.
economy? But
Yeah,
I got my answer.
I do.
Yeah.
If there's like a quick and easy upgrade, no, I don't ever like. If it's that if
Short
it's
flight.
$700 to
Yeah.
upgrade to business class on a flight like that for 14 hours,
Worth
hell
it.
yeah.
Hell
Do you ever get worried that you'll get noticed being in economy and someone like
I just saw some
Civilian,
content.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
Jack
I'm not gonna
Doherty.
say who,
Yeah.
Civilian lifestyle?
I was talking about that this morning.
and the kid was
not
like,
at all.
I fly 10 people deep, of course.
Yeah, he's like, I got my whole team here, bro. He's like, I'm not gonna sit in the front. But not at all. I mean, like, I didn't pay for my flight here because I'm blessed. The publishing company for the
Yeah.
book actually helped.
It's all budget
So
stuff.
yeah, so like that's awesome. But in general, not at all. I mean, bro, like, I had a little crazy experience in leaving Milan in the airport. There was like a whole field trip of kids. There were like 20 kids, and I was not in the mood like to and
I get it, bro.
you try you as an influencer, you tried. At least personally, I try not to think that somebody's gonna recognize me.
Yeah.
I don't like want to think that way. Like you got that big of a head.
Right.
Like I tell myself, like chill out. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you realize that it might be. So I see the group of kids. They're eating gelato in the airport, waiting for the flight. I don't know, they're going on a field trip somewhere, and I see one of them recognize me, and it's like no big deal. Then
Floodgates opened.
bro, then I got up. I've had my hood up, whatever. I got up. I moved like to a different area to see if I could try to avoid just in case. Then all of a sudden, like they start like flocking over. There's like, so it started accumulating. It was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids in a group. I'm sitting here with my hood, like literally with my head down with my arm like this, just because I'm like, there's a certain age, and especially in a group like that, when you're with a bunch of friends and you're young, you go crazy. You know what I mean? Like you're not just with your parents. Like, you know, maybe I could go up and take a picture. It's like they don't give
and
a fuck.
and the parents would give them guidance, like
Right, and rather they were with like a chaperone. The chaperone didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I hear just like, "Buon appetito, bitch! Buon appetito, bitch! Buon appetito, bitch! Buon appetito, bitch!" to try to get my attention. And then I'm not looking up at all. Then eventually one of the kids comes up, taps me. I look up. He goes, "Are you Nick DiGiovanni?" And then I go, "Nope." And then he's like, "Okay," and then walks away. Then they keep doing more research. Then more kids. I'm talking 15 kids were in a group, standing 6 feet away, not coming up to me, just kind of standing there with their phones out.
I hate that.
I'm sitting there just kind of like, oh man. So then I get up and I go up to the lady at the front desk, because look, like the deal is, it's like I love taking pictures. I love meeting people. It's totally great, but it's
do it in
like
a respectable way.
but it'll be an explosive moment if I get up and start just kind of like, "Hey guys," to like 15 young kids. Like it's like you got to really be able to handle that. You got to be ready.
Also,
for
the
that.
airport is not a place where you want to.
Bro, that's a lot of attention. Like, you know, anxiety. Anxiety's real. You know. And I like went up to the flight attendant in the front desk. I was like, "Can I just check in a little early?" Like, I tried to explain it a little bit. She's like, "Go ahead." And I'm in the line. I heard, "Buon appetito, bitch! Buon appetito, bitch! Buon appetito, bitch!" for like 5-6 minutes while I was in line, and it just kept going, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" They didn't give a fuck. I didn't turn around. It was the first time I'd ever like really ignored a situation, and like I wanted to feel bad, but I just knew that it was gonna be wild if I pressed into it. But
So when you travel, do you go incognito, like sunglasses, hoodie?
not here, like not like leaving in LA. Nobody really gives a fuck. Yeah, they're just kind of like, they're like, whatever. Oh, you're an influencer. But when it's kind of like, you know, you can imagine you're 12 years old and you see like a YouTuber or something in public, and like you're with all your friends, you don't give a fuck. You're like, let's go bother the fuck out of this guy.
Course. Yeah.
I give you guys a lot of credit for dealing with it, because even Kuj
in New York, it's brutal.
He's a mascot, bro. He's
a yes. And you know how many people have said like Cug? Like when people meet me.
Yeah, a lot of people goes, "Where's Cug?"
Yeah.
I hear some
what's that
wild
shit?
shit.
Makes me cringe,
Coog, Cug. Yeah, I hear some crazy shit.
Cug is wild.
Cug is wild.
Cuggin.
Cuggin. No, but what happened
Cuggan.
was one time we went to a Knicks game, and some guy, big dude, just like put his arm around him
Oh, like yeah.
to take a selfie. Like put his arm around, and then with that, I was just like, "Yo, bro, could you at least ask him? Like, what are you doing?"
Wow. That's New York, though.
Like-
just don't give a fuck.
You know, I hate that. One time, airport story. One time, I was walking in the airport, and I don't get recognized as much as you guys by any means, but
I mean, you guys have 2 million followers.
I noticed somebody recognized me, and I always notice when someone recognizes me because they like give a double take, right?
Yeah.
So this guy was like maybe right by where the window is, and I see him like notice me. So he didn't say anything to me, and I just walked past. As I walked past, he's like, "Damn, you could have at least said hi." Being like, I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, this guy didn't even say hi to me. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you recognize me?
Hey,
bro?
man,
Like,
you recognize me?
Yeah, you know what I
You'd
mean?
be like
Like-
that arrogant asshole.
yeah,
if
you know
do
what I mean?
that.
So have you had like instances like that
Every
too?
day.
You just feel
No,
heat. You
but
know what I mean?
but the best thing is when most of the time there's no hesitation, and it's like a
Fluid.
love your content.
Yeah, bro, love your content.
That's
Keep it
the
up.
best. The best feeling ever is just someone passes by, they dap you up, love your content. Yo, could we take a picture? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a part of.
There
it's a
should
part
be
of
an
it.
etiquette like class for this. You know what I mean? Like
There-
how to approach somebody you recognize.
But like it always depends, bro. It's like if you're in New York, bro, I had some kid slam on his brakes when I was walking in the streets. Slammed on his brakes, pulled over, like fucking traffic up, and he goes like, "There's just no fucking way. There's no way." And he gets on FaceTime. He FaceTimes this whole group chat, and he's like, "Yeah," and like he's completely by himself. He was talking about garlic and all this random shit, and I was like, "This is wild, man." There's a lot of really funny moments. Like shit, it's always like now TSA and stuff like that. Like what the fuck? Like they scan your ID, then they're just like, "Love your videos, man." It's like there's way more positive moments than anxiety driven moments, you know. But it depends on where you are, bro. If you're in the middle of nowhere, at least in like population wise, they're like, "Why the fuck are you here?" You know, that's a lot of times that happens. Like one time I was in Monte di Procida, and like 20 minutes outside of Naples, and there's a ton of kids from like this, all the parents from one area in Jersey all went to Jersey from Monte. They all came from Monte, and I was there, and these kids were all speaking English, but they were all like, "What?" Like they were mind blown because they're like, "Why here? Like this is such a small town. Like why are
That's
you
a dope
here?"
feeling.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Like it's hard to control yourself.
They're
like
probably
that.
on Instagram and social apps more in those little towns than anywhere else.
Yeah, literally.
They got nothing else to
What
do.
else they gonna do?
Exactly.
But I wanted to ask you, going back to Italy now. Besides Ischia, obviously, give me like your top 3 Italian cities to you
That's a good question.
I mean, the problem is I haven't been to enough.
that you've been to.
It's been years since I've been to a lot of places. So it's like the only places that I have been in the past few years has really only been
The main ones.
Napoli, Roma, Milano,
Okay.
and like that's it.
Ischia too.
Yeah.
Have you been anywhere else? Like
I have, but like not since I was a kid, because like we used to go to Italy for a month every year. So it was like a
that's
little
like- that's like
second.
us.
Yeah, everybody does. That's
But
that's
you
the
haven't
thing.
seen those other parts as
Not at
So
all.
you never been
no.
to like Tuscany or
I have.
Firenze?
So I've been to all the major cities. But
Sicily. You've been to Sicily?
I haven't been to Sicily.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, my
neither
dad
have
hasn't
I.
been to Sicily.
I haven't been to Sicily in a long time. I went once.
Sicily's it's got to be its own planet.
It's
Like,
hot as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, bro. Like everything you see, it's just that's the most raw, organic lifestyle you can live.
Sicily and Napoli are kind of similar, except I mean Sicily is like kind of like going to a beach town,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's at night it's 100 degrees, sweating.
Sicily's fucking big.
Yeah. It's
Dude.
very big too. But like I went to San Vito Lo Capo and it's the most beautiful beach I've ever been to, and they're just selling everything on the street. Coco bello, coco bello. you know?
Coccovello, ananas.
You
No,
like
wait,
that
is it
lifestyle?
ananas too?
You
What's
like
that?
the simple lifestyle like that Italy has to offer?
La vita lenta.
I was talking about this today, ironically, or last night. It's because I was thinking about just like the world in general, and like it's a lot of good and bad things going on in the world, and I was just thinking, I'm like, bro, Ischia is like it's so unbelievably safe. The food is so unbelievably organic. The things that grow on the island, it's got volcanic ash.
Yeah.
And the volcanic ash from Vesuvio
Fertilizes.
literally fertilized.
There's another cook that you should collaborate with that's from Ischia, Christian Petroni. You ever heard of him?
I got a text today. Man.
Yeah. He's
'Cause
great.
that he's from. You're
I didn't know that.
I didn't
You're
know
only
that.
two
either.
people I know from
Napolitano,
Ischia.
right? Is he
Yeah, you can
Ischitano?
literally ask him.
I didn't know that.
You should literally like do a video because
No, yeah,
his style is super.
We're texting
Yeah,
like
yeah.
literally today.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean,
He's
there's
from Ischia, yeah.
100,000 people, I think, on the island at most. It takes 45 minutes, 50 minutes to like 1 hour flat to go all the way around. Wow. It's not,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's not huge. But holy shit. Like,
100,000 is
But
100,000.
you could only get there via boat, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Because
So usually the boat goes from Napoli, stops in Procida, and then goes to Ischia.
or you hold it hostage though. I will say, anytime we post anything like touristy in Naples, like you tell people, you always comment like, "Oh, don't worry about Ischia." Like,
Bro,
nothing
yeah.
Stay
special.
away.
Stay away.
He's what's a gatekeeper?
Yeah, you're gatekeeping the
But
tourists,
the craziest part, which like I shouldn't say this, is that most people, even Italians that go to Ischia, they don't go over the island. They get off the boat and they stay right there. You got the couple 5-star, like 3 5-star hotels on the one side. You've got some beaches. You've got the restaurants. Everything's there. You go 15 minutes over the island, you're in the real Ischia. Like the beaches over there are a completely different game. Everything, that's where everything is still $2, $3.
Yeah, that's wild.
And
We should go to East Gear together sometime.
100%.
Next time we go, I'll go
I
with
try
you.
to convince everybody. I mean, my dad still has his house from when he grew up. My uncle lives there, gardens every day, just like
Amazing.
living the life.
But can you imagine like a month, no phone, no anything? Obviously, you
I'll
have your
go
content
nuts.
already
I'll go
done.
nuts.
Right. Like have it all.
I
Or if
think
you
I'd
have
be in
somebody
heaven.
posting for you.
Yeah, if you had somebody handling all your media,
That would be amazing. Dude.
I would love that, bro.
That would be amazing. Like that would
that's
be a
just like,
dream.
all right, this is like what
I
life
feel-
should be. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, I feel like I communicate too much. Like when I lost my Instagram for those 3 days, I feel like I was cut off from everybody because nobody could get in touch
That
with
is
me.
scary though. Imagine losing your IG.
Yeah.
I mean, you figure it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, taking a break from the phone for
that-
like a month at a time. You know that everything's being handled. You know, you have somebody to handle
It's
it.
pretty crazy because it's like the second you start feeling really good in general, like when you're really happy, you're not going on your phone as much.
It's so true, bro.
It's just so natural. And then the second you get a little depressed,
You look at
like,
the phone.
bro, you just get glued and you just want to see anything. You want to see anything but what you're feeling. You know what I mean?
That's
You want to
true.
feel something
and
else.
You're like looking at everybody else like, damn, why am I not successful? Stuff like that. You know?
yeah, of course.
'Cause at the end of the day, Instagram just like a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's like everybody's gonna put their best version out there too. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see somebody down in the dumps on Instagram. You're gonna see everybody's like highlights.
no, it's brutal, man. It changes it changes the way everyone thinks. You know, thinking that these standards are real. It's all played, bro. It's all, like it's the whole point of it. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Like as an entertainer myself, like I'm gonna do what I can to make it
course, of
so you
course.
enjoy what you're watching. And
So when someone's an entertainer, I automatically think of Mario Bosco. I'm an entertainer.
yeah.
Right? But what's crazy is my son and daughter, they watch your videos on YouTube Shorts. Do you see a big difference in people that know you from ages? Like, of course,
it's
the
very
little guys,
specific.
Yeah.
It's there's like a 5% chance that an adult says I watch your YouTube
Like,
videos.
do you post on Facebook
Like
or no?
Yeah.
like middle-aged person, you're saying?
Yeah,
like
no, I mean,
40s,
no,
in
no.
their 40s.
No, like 18 plus. Like
Really?
literally adult. Yeah.
Oh, you look different
For
without
YouTube
the apron,
Shorts.
though.
YouTube though.
You look different without the apron.
Yeah.
If you walk around with the apron, it would be much.
There's such a weird thing where it's like, if sometimes I got glasses, a mask, and a hoodie, and someone's like, "Yo," and then sometimes I'm just wearing a t-shirt, and then they're like, "Huh?" And then I'm like, you know, with the videos with, I'm like, I don't wear a shirt, and then they're like, "Oh," and then I'm like, "Wait, what?"
You gotta get in costume, bro.
Yeah, literally. I'm trying to like feel a little normal right now, you know.
Yeah. No, you're dressed up right now.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
let's get back to the cookbook 1 second, right? Now,
there's a lot of conversation around Italian American, man. Like,
yeah, so
this is the foundation.
What I
of your
want to
guys'.
know, because there's so many people, like you're a real purist Italian that knows authentic Italian dishes, and I think your book is really different because even spaghetti, meatballs, lasagna, fettuccine, like dishes that are Italian based, you're putting an American flag. Do you do that in real life with a friend when they'll see you and say, "Oh, I love pasta. Make me some fettuccine alfredo"? Do you go, "You know, that's not really Italian"? Like, do you ever do stuff like that?
If it gets there, yeah. Like if the conversation gets there, absolutely. Like it's so hard not to correct things in that way. Like I just did my first live cooking demo. It was like the LA Times. It was like Festival of Books at USC in LA. I had to do a full live demo. I made spaghetti and meatballs, and it was funny because like I started it off with pronunciation. Like you guys know how it is. It's such a strict thing. I'm kind of so half and half. I'm so Italian American on the subject that half of me starts getting like amped about it. Like, did you just say noodles? And then the other half of me is like, they just don't know. Like, relax. And like there needs to be some sort of middle ground. And there needs to be some sort of like acceptance. But the Italians also love to go crazy about it. You know what I mean? But like shit, you can't take away that aspect. Like Lionsfield, like the way that they react to videos and like Pasta Queen reacting to things, like because it's just true. It's funny because it's like no chicken on pasta. You know, there's so many. The rule book is massive, but there needs to be a little, you know, because the flavor is flavor, taste is taste. You guys know just as much as I do of the reason why these recipes are in there is because
They're good.
They're good.
Yeah.
Like for fuck's sake, a stick of butter. You know what I mean? Like,
or chicken parm is fire. I can't,
of course,
Yeah.
can't hate on
that's
it.
the one dish that my father has in his restaurants that he never. His old head chef ended up opening up his own restaurant. Eventually, he was such a good chef that he did deserve to go do his own thing. But he's a Northern Italian, and he kind of was like, I can't be serving chicken parm anymore. And I think that was like a small part in his reason of like, I need to do my own thing. But my father's like, this shit sells.
Shit sells.
Like this shit sells. Like people want a chicken parm, but it's like that's kind of it. Everything else is all authentic.
But
But-
Oh, but
never
people
met-
going there looking for it, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've never met one person that didn't like chicken parm.
Yeah, like you can order chicken fettuccine alfredo. It's not on the menu, but
It's so funny because the guys from Italy, when they come visit, and we go to a super Italian American spot, they'll make fun of it, but then I'm like, yo, try it. And they'll be like, it's good. It's good.
yeah, it's like
You
denial.
can't say it's bad.
Yeah.
Of course not. It's
That's
the
not
same
bad.
ingredients that it's pasta, pizza. It's a canvas. You can do so many things with it. For fuck's sake, I've made Nutella pasta. Like
Right.
you
Nutella
can do
pasta.
anything. That's just for YouTube, just for
You know,
shorts.
It's funny because the kids, they're like, well, when he's there, can we make a dish with him? I'm like, what would you make? Tell me, what would you say?
Pizza or pasta.
But pizza, he said pizza with Nutella.
Yeah,
And then
but
he
pizza
said-
with Nutella is Italian.
And then he said, instead of pepperoni, you put Oreos as pepperoni.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Pretty cool.
That'll get the kids
I think
riled up.
you take the top off so it looks there's like a bunch of little white circles that look like pepperoni.
exactly.
Well, I want to ask you now, because I feel like you probably have the best knowledge of this. Give me an Italian dish that you think deserves more love. Like it doesn't get the recognition. When you think Italian dishes, you think obviously carbonara, cacio e pepe, puttanesca. Give me one that's not talked about that you think is.
Bro, I think my favorite recipe ever is orecchiette, broccoli rabe, rapini, pepperoncino, like a hot Italian sausage, pecorino. There's something about it,
So good.
specifically with orecchiette too. The way that the orecchiette like stacks together sometimes, and like,
You get two for the price of one. And one
bro,
bite.
it's one of the tastiest pastas ever. And I mean, there's not really a name. Like I have it. I just have like orecchiette con cima di rapa, and like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. But that's one of my like favorite things ever. I guess that's not really a great example, but shit, there's
Give me an uncommon one that you think is really good. Like I want you to give me like not a traditional
Rock's looking
place.
for something crazy like
Like pasta alla norma. Like nobody really knows what that is. You know what I mean? Like give me one that's like out there that not to put you on the spot.
underrated pasta dish.
Yeah, like it really.
no. I mean, okay, my another one that I'd say is definitely like my top 3 favorite dishes ever is the ragu napolitano. Like you've got short rib, chuck, sausage, and you slow cook it for 3 hours. It's the fats that release from the beef that create this that dark red sauce, and like the way that it comes together, and like it's bro, and I put basil too at the end, basil and fucking ton of Parmesan, and it's just got the most depth. It's got so much flavor, and that's got to be one of my favorite things too. But again, it's a time thing that there's a lot of dishes that you can whip up in 30 minutes that are delicious, but there's plenty more that you can take some time and holy shit. I mean, that's an example of one that's not that common, at least, but it is, but it's done so many different ways.
Right. So you gave me one that's a little more uncommon. Now you got to give me one that you personally think is like the most overrated Italian dish ever.
Damn, I don't even like want to say it.
Yeah, but do you have one in mind? Or are you just like
I like carbonara, of course,
Okay.
but like the probability that it's as good as it gets is so hard. Like it's gotta be perfect to be a carbonara.
Yeah.
Other dishes you can get away with it and it can taste good.
Yeah.
But there's something people have to be able to relate that you have carbonara, it tastes different every single time.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the guanciale, it depends on the pecorino, because there's different pecorino, different guanciale from different
And
places.
some people throw curveballs in it and add cream and don't
That
stir
shit-
the egg or whatever,
Like I've never tried the wild alternative carbonaras, but like, it's like it seems to be blasphemous at this point. Like how much combo there is around carbonara is crazy.
It's easy to botch that too. Like the
So easy to
second
botch
you
it,
leave that
man.
egg in for too long,
Bro,
without
and
whiskey,
cacio e pepe, like you can fuck it up pretty easily. Like it's one that took me a long time to be able to get it right. You just have to it's fucking patient.
Trial and
It's 2
error.
ingredients too.
Yeah, it seems to be so simple, but it's like the heat's not right. You're getting balls of pecorino chunking up in there, and like it's really crazy what Italian food can. That's why the ingredients matter, and that's where it's organically done. Bro, I can't drink a glass of milk in the U.S. like regular, like 2% glass, and not feel like I'm lactose intolerant, and at least a little bit, enough to like feel cheese like directly. I can't just like eat a big chunk of like American cheese or mozzarella for sure. But over there, I can eat a whole ball of bufala like this big and drink a glass of milk, and I'm like,
That's nuts, bro.
like I said in the beginning,
It's true, though.
That
the
makes me
poop,
think
the poop
so
smells
much.
the same. No, because like it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. But then I felt it a little bit when I had a little more like fast food in the north.
Yeah.
But that's fast food, you know.
Yeah.
So I
But their
can't.
fast food's better than ours for sure.
Yeah,
Like, the chicken nuggets in Italy,
yeah.
they taste
They
amazing.
actually taste like chicken, right?
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy to me? That you mentioned milk. I feel like milk in America is always refrigerated. Everywhere else I've been to, it's like on the shelf.
My uncle, when I was just there, he goes, "Che sta facendo?" Like he started getting like mad at me when I started putting the
Milk in the fridge?
the bufala in the fridge.
Right.
So it does not need to be in the fridge. And then I'm just kind of like, what? Okay, like I trust you,
Right.
but that shows, man. Like
Crazy, right?
there's a reason why my dad's like, when I used to fly back to Charlotte, he'd be like, in the Napoli airport, they have a Buffalo store that's open till 5 a.m., I think, or it's 20. It's the only thing that's open in the Naples airport, like 24 hours. And you can go in there and buy tubs of Buffalo. And my dad's like, bring back.
But
back
you're
as
allowed
many.
to. They just have to like monitor it, or has a customs gives you?
Well,
no
yeah,
problem?
Yeah, no, you
you get through already. It's after the checkpoint.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
you just
Yeah.
carry it on. So everybody's got big bags.
Yeah.
They take home big bags to
You got over
America.
there 15 buffalo
Literally,
mozzarellas
man,
over
literally.
there. That's the best though, and
Yeah.
that's like a staple in Napoli.
I'm lucky to have in Italy but still it's the way to be able to get that cheese and milk and everything and bring it here. I heard that there's somebody maybe in the city here that apparently makes like the best bufala mozzarella, but it's because they bring the milk over, but
And then
there's
they freeze it or something.
yeah, but it's
I've
like
heard of that
it's
too.
it's like the closest it can get. You know what I mean? To being the
I
freshest
would love
it can
to
be.
try it. I love
Yeah.
buffalo
Yeah,
mozzarella.
I could
It's my
have that
favorite,
all
bro.
day, every day, bro.
It's just something about like this. It's the salt, the little bit of the right amount of salt, and the texture, and it's just unbelievable. People don't get when people see Italians make a sandwich with just mozzarella, like and
Tomato,
prosciutto,
yeah.
and like that's it.
yeah.
They're like, what? But then when the bread's that good, and when the prosciutto's that good, and the mozzarella's that good, it's explosive in flavor. The second that something's not as good as it gets, ingredient like the wheat, the milk, the cheese, anything, it's so pure there that those simple things can taste so good. And that's the thing about simplicity, and the thing about like any advice I give to anybody cooking anything out of my cookbook is spend a couple more dollars on a better source. Go to a farmer's market if you can. If you really want to like impress yourself or impress somebody, and you're making a dish that's got 5 ingredients, those 5 ingredients need to be good. Like, don't use the little thing of basil that you can like pull out of like a little tin thing, and garlic and all this stuff. It's gonna ruin it. You know, it's all about those simplicity,
Details,
but the quality. It's all
For
about
the
the
American
quality.
lifestyle, that garlic is convenient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, dude.
Garlic. I never heard of garlic before.
Really?
You know what we're talking about.
I know,
right?
yeah, that-
the minced garlic.
Minced
that's already
garlic in the
there.
can- yeah.
Well, I have another little question I have to ask you, and this is funny because I feel like you always talk about this one Italian food, especially the pronunciation. It really bothers you.
Oh
when
my
people
God,
go
I was
so
gonna.
many.
I was gonna bring it.
I was just gonna ask you what makes a good bruschetta.
Same.
Is that the one that you were?
No,
Yeah,
I was
probably.
gonna say, like in your videos, that you always really pronounce the food good. And sometimes I see comments that people are like, why is bro forcing it? You know?
Oh yeah.
It's probably been like a year since like the last comment like that.
That
now,
you've noticed probably. Though.
Now I get Italians that are like, you speak Italian really
Bravo,
well. And then I'm like,
bravo.
no, like it's just the pronunciation that's getting better. That convinces somebody.
I want to have a nice conversation a little bit.
Adesso andiamo.
Va bene, va
Vai,
bene.
vai.
But give me the bruschetta. What makes like a really good bruschetta?
I'm not a big bruschetta guy.
No?
Bruschetta or
Bruschetta.
bruschetta? Why you say bruschetta?
Oh,
Bruschetta.
is that how it's spelled?
Bruschetta.
There's a C in there.
See, I'm gonna try to
Bruschetta.
speak Italian.
But yeah, what makes it go on?
È uguale. Pomodori freschi, basilico fresco,
Ti piace aglio? O
solo
senza
un po' di aglio e come si dice? How do you say it?
shaved?
Scrape.
Corta-
Scrape.
I don't know how to say scrape.
Yeah, like
Cortato,
Chevalade.
scivolato.
mio zio dicono se
Tuo zio?
mio zio dicono
DJ?
in the past. Did you say in the past? Like
Detto?
Yeah.
ha detto.
detto.
Mio zio ha detto solo al I don't know how to say the rim. These words I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't even know how
With
to say
the,
it.
with the garlic,
un
with the
po',
garlic.
un
Un
po'.
po', solo un po' d'aglio.
Sì.
Perché l'aglio è più forte in Italia. È più naturale, senza come si dice?
The first thing Italians complain about is that we put too much garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Like,
true.
only
You
need
just
one.
said it. In Italy, it's way stronger.
It's so much
That's
stronger.
why we
True,
put
too.
15 cloves.
Yeah, because our
it's
shit's
strong.
weak.
That shit's strained down, like diluted as hell.
No, but the bruschetta is so simple. But again, it's like, how fresh are your tomatoes?
Yeah.
How fresh is
But
the
I was just
basil?
gonna ask you, can you have a good bruschetta in like May? I mean, not May, but maybe like in like February. Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, my recommendation is always just like the like multicolored cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
Doing that. Oregano. What else?
Mandatory.
Basil.
But you don't need like a nice bread though. What kind of bread are you using for that?
Dude, usually, I mean,
They usually use old bread for that stuff, no? Not to make it go to waste.
Like a nice sourdough? Yeah, but you're right. Like a stale or
you
Yeah,
can use
stale bread
anything.
and then
I mean, you can even use like a baguette if you want,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
slice. But if you want it to look like it,
Right.
But I'll take whatever I can get, slice it. I don't care if the piece is this big. If it's an Italian like rustic loaf of bread and it's this big, great. And you know, it's so simple, but can be so good. That's why when you have it in a place that it's really meant to be grown, that it tastes so much better. But it's still really good. You go to the grocery, you can go to anywhere and pick up cherry tomatoes and just or whatever, you know, and it's gonna taste good.
I see a lot of foodies now. They're doing the sourdough starter kits.
Just have you seen like the videos of sourdough
those
starters?
things are like
Because
monsters.
sourdough is healthier to eat than like regular bread, right? Is that why?
Yeah.
Bro,
That's
you
why
know,
I hear a lot.
you know, there's sourdough starters that are like 2,000 years old.
Really?
Yeah,
What the hell?
I gotta fact check that, but I'm pretty sure there's one person. I think it's something fucking ridiculous.
Passed down generation?
Yes.
Make sure you take care of the sourdough.
No, literally.
Yeah, it's crazy,
There's people
bro.
that are like, this is my family's 832-year-old sourdough starter. I swear to God.
That's wild. Too.
Yeah.
It's fire.
It's also like a monster. Like
It is it, bro. When they drop the bowl and it goes. It starts like it starts going nuts. It looks like.
crazy. Have you ever done it or
No,
no?
whatever it's called. No, I havened made a starter. It was somebody that I was talking to
content,
recently.
bro. Content.
I know.
One thing I want to ask him before we go: did you ever consider opening your own restaurant? Is that something you think in the work?
You know what I really wanted? This is my like goal. This is so like it's not far fetched, but it's a really tough concept. My goal is to like build the restaurant of my dreams in Italy. Like build it there. I want every single I want to open it here. I want it to be in the most competitive place that it can be. But I want it to be the closest you can get to like a real taste of Italy, to the extent of like the milk flown in every 2 days.
That's
Like,
cool. Yeah.
Everything. I want everything you see, touch, and taste in the whole entire restaurant. The napkins, the fabric. Like I want it to be like over the top Italian, just to give people that like it. Yeah, it's gonna be fucking expensive and like to build it and probably to sell it. But it's like I'd rather. It sucks that it's like my goal is to build something that doesn't really have a lot of like accessibility to the common person, but it's better than opening up a chain of restaurants that I'm not there, that I go to occasionally, that they slap my face on and tell people, come eat your pasta. And like, I don't want people, because it's like Gordon Ramsay's got so many restaurants, and like they get a lot of shit for it but how it's
quality control on that many.
Of
things
course,
is hard.
but that's just because it's like, that's what I've seen in my family. My father has his 4 solid ass restaurants. He's had 12 in total, trial and error, finally got down to like the solid 4. He's there almost every single night, every single one, for 25 years. And it's like, if you can't do that, if you can't be there and you can't like love it like that, it's not going to be as best as it can be. So it's like, I'm hoping that I get to a point in my life where I can really I don't want to make any money from it. I want it to be like a home, and I want it to be like a piece of art, like this establishment. And
the money will make itself.
no, but like the type of thing where like I don't even care to make. I'd put millions into this restaurant. I don't give a shit if I ever made a penny from it, because it's like, that's the restaurant industry in general is fucking hard, and to make money from restaurants, it takes years, man. It takes sometimes 10, 15 years to see profit. Even if you're I never used to understand. I used to be like, Dad, your restaurants are packed all the time. Yeah. Why are you not fucking loaded? Like, and also I would always ask him, like, why don't you open up restaurants all over the place? Like, you gotta chain, you gotta do like Gordon Ramsay. Like, but he's like, no, I want to be there. Like, it's different. So that's kind of why I hope one day to be able to do that. But it'll be a while for sure. It'll be a passion project. I don't know, like I know enough, but I want to know so much more about everything of the Italian cuisine. Yeah. And
I love it.
You could definitely do it, bro.
It'll take some time. It'll take some time for sure.
All right, let me challenge your Italian lastly.
Okay. I'm like tired. 2 hours of sleep.
All right, here we go. 2 hours of sleep. That's his excuse.
Yeah, ask me like questions. Like interview me.
Yeah. So, ho sentito che abito a Roma.
Sì.
È vero o no?
Non è vero, no.
Mamma, ma perché?
Perché è un pezzo di content. Come si dice? Sì.
Ok, va bene. Solamente content.
Sì. Come si dice actor?
Attore. Ho fatto bene.
Sono un attore.
Io ho detto, Gianluca abita a Roma, non lo vedo più a New York, mi dispiace.
No.
Mamma mia.
Vivo in Los Angeles adesso, sì.
Los Angeles.
Solo.
La California. E quanti anni che abito a California?
4 anni.
Ti piace?
2 settimane fa.
Mm-hmm.
E il Marco di 4 anni.
Uh-huh.
E mi piace. Mi piace perché tutti la gente 30 minuti
lontano.
È la città.
Beh, tranquillo.
Ma mia casa è, come si dice, far?
Sì.
Lontano,
Distante. Yeah.
Distanto.
Lontano,
sì.
Distanto.
Per 3 anni.
Nessuno ti disturbo. Nessuno. Tranquillo. Le 2 cani.
Nessuno
2 cani. Mi giardino. È piccolo. Ma è bella.
I always see when he grabs the tomatoes from the garden.
That was perfect, bro.
Yeah.
Tone, do you want to ask him anything before we go?
Any words
the microphone
from our
works over there.
Executive producer.
One question, yeah.
So I want to ask you, what is your favorite recipe in your book?
My favorite recipe in the book is 3-way Thai. Rigatoni alla buttera, which is a little weird one because it's got a little cream. It's kind of like a pink sauce with sausage and peas. It's one that I grew up on that my father has at his restaurant.
That's your favorite dish, right?
Bro, I think I've had it 500 times.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Not
this pod. Last pod. Yeah. Sounds so good.
So that's
bro.
one of them. Second one, ossobuco, milanese.
Veal?
With, veal shank. And then the ragu alla napolitana, like I mentioned. It's just, it's different. It's unique. And one thing I put in the cookbook, I put like half of the sausage. Bro, you cook halves of sausage for 3 hours and the sauce, that shit turns into like butter.
Yeah.
You got to take that shit out. So
all that fat that just soaks in that. Ragus are my favorite. I recently had like, I don't want to say a white ragu, but it was no sauce. It was all like butter.
There's a restaurant that I went here with Jack's Dining Room that we went. I can't remember the name. Antica
Pesa.
Wait, no, I'm wrong.
That's Williamsburg. That's right.
I'm
That's
wrong.
right here.
But this place, they had a sausage with like a pasta dish with mascarpone, which was so unique, and sausage and truffle. It was something that was it reminded me of what you were just saying. It was insane. And I keep forgetting what Jack Steininger was pronouncing this one pasta, and it was fucking killing me, man. It's
It was like making you cringe type of thing, or like,
yeah, because it's like that, but that's just how you pronounce it in English.
Super American, though.
I gotta remember.
his content's great, bro.
Yeah.
He blew up. So, guys, listen. Make sure to check it out. We'll put a link in the description.
The one-stop shop.
If
All the
really,
recipes
if
are
you
there.
really support this guy.
Oh yeah.
Buy a book.
It was
He's
me
been
in the
giving you
world.
content for free for years.
It's the least you could
What
do.
is $32 going to cost you? Just, it goes a
10% off on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
anything
thank
else
you
want to say
guys.
before we go?
Shit, I think to all the Italians watching and to all the Italian Americans watching, let's unite.
Hell yeah.
Let's unite. Let's keep trying to unite. But let's keep making fun of each other,
Yeah.
or else what the fuck's the
If not, we're
point?
going to get no views.
Yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. QCP, best of luck with everything. Congratulations on the
You guys
cookbook,
too.
my man.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you
Always
soon,
a
bro.
pleasure. Hell
Take care
yeah.
of yourself.
Thank you guys.
Peace.